the side, and then I'm going to, hi everyone, because we're just doing, well, I've decided just for this today's and see how it goes, just to do something a little different rather than just readings. I mean, there's readers on yesterday, readers on tonight, as in Leanne's doing her reading show tonight, and there's more tomorrow, and they're over the place. I just thought, well, I'll just do something a little bit different because I'm into being a bit spontaneous and doing things a little different. So what I'm going to do is just put this one up solo. Oh, by the way, hi, Leanne. How are you today?
Hey, good, thanks, Ros, and you? A bit rushed, but
well, it is a little bit.
Morning already. It's crazy.
Oh, look, some of the things that I was thinking of doing now, this I don't know how I'd do that. So it goes back to 2. I think I've got to drop that down. Yeah.
Yep.
So it goes back to 2. The idea that I thought of was just opening with the owls, but we started chatting. Just to be a bit of a, just a nice peaceful time just for anyone to actually read it. So I'm going to put it back up and solo it so that intention is still, look, just contemplate this. Those who are coming in, have a little read of what the saying is on it if you can, because I just realised it is a white text on a fairly light background. So basically it says we've got so much we can choose regardless of where we're at the moment. And that is one of the, I don't know, well, it's not a saying as such. It's, and I'll go back to the 3. Does that work? No, wrong way. That work? That's better. It's where we're at is the best place that we can start. I mean, you're not going to get any more or less from actually where we're at. And that's something that I'd said somewhere along the lines, and I put it in a little meme thing. When I was doing a bit of creative stuff, that's what I thought. I love owls, and that's, I don't know, it just meant something to me. It still does too, because you can't do any more than what you have currently in this present moment. So I'll just share some of these I was going to say nuggets. I picked that up from Molly Mahoney's show. Nuggets, write your nuggets in. I'm not into that sort of stuff, really. If you're wanting to comment, do so. So I'll just say the quick hello to these, and then we'll get into it. So there's Robin saying she's got her coffee ready.
Beautiful.
Good morning.
You're more organised than I am.
Yeah. I've got my coffee cup, but it's empty. I drank it all in the prep stage and didn't get time to get back.
My fridge is still going from breakfast.
We've got Sarah here. Hi, Sarah.
Hey,
and Ashton. That's a lovely name. I like that. Good morning, ladies. Feel as if someone around me's, not sure who. Well, we may or may not do readings today. That's this one where it's a potluck. Whether it's something we go ahead with or not, we'll see. and Annette, hi, darling. So gorgeous.
Hey, Annette.
Ros. Hi.
I was seeing you trying to ring me, honey. I will ring you as soon as we're finished.
Yeah. And Shaz. Hi, Shaz. And how's your tea?
Are you still on solo with the owl, hun?
No, it's not showing up as solo. I've got 3 on my screen.
Okay.
What's happening?
Yep. On my end, the owl's a lot bigger than you and I, so I thought it must have been solo. That's all right.
Yeah. You know how you can have the one bigger. Oh, right. Yeah. I've been playing around this morning. It's the one bigger and the 2 of us.
I thought we were solo, so I adjusted my camera.
Yeah, no, look, I'm playing with things this morning. We'll see. So I had Shaz's there. So good morning, Shalisa.
Hey, Shalisa, that's a beautiful name.
Yeah. I think it's wonderful that the beautiful names we see popping in. So Annette's shared. Good, thank you. And anyone else that would like to share this out, do so. It's only a button that's somewhere there. Share away. And also just a reminder for those on our cross-posted pages, which would be Leanne Winston Psychic Medium page, Bet's Holistic Therapy, Hypnosis Plus with Ros, and the Live Video Hub, I think, were the 5 or whatever it was. Please click the link at the top of the description to come back to the mytimetv.live page so that when you're commenting, I can see them in the background, okay?
Beautiful. And if anybody wants to hit the watch party thing and share it to your page, certainly feel free to do that as well. So that's not hard to do.
Yeah, that part of it's just something I still don't understand, the watch party, as you know, Leanne. So I will drop the little owl down to give us more room again, and I'll put this here and I'll continue on with these comments. Here we've got Robin is candle wicking and watching us.
Nice.
I like the multitasking. It's good, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Kirsten.
Hi, morning, honey.
Oops. Where'd I get to? There.
I did that last night on a webinar, multitasking, running workshops while I'm listening into business.
Look, the more I try to do, the more interesting it gets, where I find it just too confusing. So anyway, we have Shirley who's here.
Good morning, honey. She's from Canada.
A question too. Yeah. It is a beautiful owl. I don't know whether that, I'm not sure what type of owl it is. I was going to look it up, but didn't get around to it yet. So, Caitlin, how are you this morning? Oh, right. So, Sharon, she's sick.
Hey, Sharon.
Now.
I love my dentist, but I don't like my dentist.
No, had some clean. Some of the writing isn't showing. Oh, right, okay, Robin. I wonder what part of the writing isn't showing. Yeah. Oh, as far as the owl goes, that's probably quite right. Yeah. Actually, I will just put that up once more while you're saying that, and I'll drop that. And
it could have even been a couple Could have even been a couple of the comments, hun, as well, because you were reading comments, but they weren't on the screen.
Oh, they weren't?
No.
I suppose.
I think it was about 2 or 3 in. There was a couple that Robin's comment was still up, but you were reading others and they didn't show on my end. I still had Robin's.
Oh, so you're monitoring the background. Oh, hang on, in monitoring the back. Whoops, I nearly hit that in broadcasting again. Yep. Yeah, there wasn't anything more on the owl. So on the back end, you see, I'm just clicking, you know how we've got the column on the right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
it does it occasionally. It's a bit sensitive.
I'm just working up them, not going hide comment, you know, that bigger bar. I'm not hitting that each time, so maybe that's the issue.
What I do sometimes is I either hit the hide button or I re-click the I for that comment while it's up, and that will take it down as well.
Oh, right. So I wasn't really clicking, I was just clicking into the next one.
That could be why it doesn't. Yeah. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, people who are watching and those in replay, you're getting a mini lesson on the back end of BeLive, whether you like it or not.
I always say it's how you hold your mouth.
Oh, yeah, and the angle of the camera, I won't say anything else. So doing it like that. Okay. And there's Carol.
Hey, Carol.
Good morning, and how are you? And now this is a good time to explain that with a question there. Where's the watch party? Okay. How are you doing, Leanne?
Yeah, that was going to come up tonight. So, honey, at the bottom of the picture where you see us live, it should have a button. Yep, it's down in the bottom corner, usually to your left-hand side of when you're looking at your screen. It will say watch party. All you do is click on that, and it'll take you to your page and create the video playing there. But you can also monitor the comments that your people are putting up, because it'll show you on the bottom of the screen pictures of your followers and like friends and family that are watching it as well. So you can do this with anybody's shows, anybody's videos these days. This is just a extra feature that Facebook has added to it, which is good because it helps. It does also help spread. So spread the videos. So if you're funding a video that you're interested in, you like, and you think your people on your page will be, you just hit the watch party and it's live through another page sort of thing. So if you're doing it while we're live, you can do it afterwards as well. It just means that we're not live. But I usually put in my comments, this is a watch party. You can jump over to the link to see it live, or, this is a replay. So, Facebook's pretty clever.
Well, it is, but it's also very confusing. Because with watch parties, and this is where I'm just going to add my little bit, because I do find it more different, and it's just one of the parts of a discussion to define what are you actually achieving with a watch party. And I know the extension of, getting it out there and showing other people and having your say in your own location with a live. I think it's a great idea, but and that's where it was difficult seeing someone else trying to do it from a live, having a watch party of that live when they were in that live, and all of that octopusy multitasking stuff. You really need people on the other end of each of those lives to be commenting on it and directing back to the live, or just enjoy it as a replay. Like once we've finished and I would like to share this as a watch party in my page, and we can, you have your own conversation with your own people around what is on that video or something similar. It can be learning curves all round, but that's just something that, for me, with this nearly 60-year-old brain, it's not that easy to keep up with the concept of, this is live somewhere else and someone else is commenting. I just found it too confusing. But it is a good idea. And now I'll drop her comment because I just realised it's still there. That's what a watch party is, and it can be really beneficial.
Yeah. And we've got, like, for those that are joining on my show tomorrow night, please feel welcome to do a watch party on your page, because we've got an announcement coming up tomorrow, and I'm really excited to be releasing something new tomorrow that could be quite big and exciting. So we're waiting to see what happens there. So I can't believe it's one more sleep. I have woken up so excited about that tomorrow. So for those that aren't too sure what I'm talking about, I was actually asked, it must be nearly 2 weeks ago now, to take part in a pilot program that's never been done here in Australia before. It's been done in America, but nobody in Australia is doing it. So you will have the chance tomorrow when you comment to actually get 3 daily guidance cards for free to test out the app, so to speak, that will run through your messenger as well. So all you have to do is jump on the show tomorrow night and comment what we instruct you to comment on the live broadcast. But you can, I'm going to go live today and talk about it quickly as well, just to build up a bit more hype to the show tomorrow night. So, yay.
Wonderful, isn't it? All this trying new stuff. I love it. I put this up, popped it down, and its comment option's not there. Well, I'm just on my iPad, and I'm watching the watch party that Shaz has started, I think. Something like that. So I think, I don't know why it's not showing on yours.
The other option, honey, might be to make us full screen, and when you get the comments down the right-hand side of the screen, you might have the option up the top for watch party. Sometimes I have noticed it goes up in there as well.
And it shows up. I'm not sure what it's doing. I'm poking at my iPad. I'm not sure what I've done myself here on the iPad. So yes. I'm trying to get out of a watch party on that too. How do you go back on that? Oh, I don't know. There.
I usually just turn it off.
A good choice. Now,
As if I
more of the hellos. Did we say hello to Natalie?
No. Hey, Natalie.
And there's shows us comment. Yes, her teeth are all descaled and clean. Now, is that showing up as?
We can't see that one.
Robin's. Whoops.
It's Robin.
Is that showing up as Leanne? Yeah, Robin. Sorry, I was thinking Leanne. You're Leanne. And so I see all comments, Ros. So I do say that's part of the watch party. So I'm not. I haven't watched a watch party that's been done while someone's live. So I don't know what that does. Is that hidden? No, it is now.
It is.
I like that. If we decide to do questions, what's the financial situation looking like? Not doing them yet. May not. Who knows? We'll see. It depends on time, doesn't it? So anyway, did you find, Robin, I can't see it. I don't know what you're actually asking for with that one. So
probably the watch party.
Yeah. The actual comment. I found it on the share button. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Shirley Fortin. She has suggested it's actually a screech owl. Thank you for that.
Beautiful.
I'm going to have to look them up because I do love owls. They're lovely.
I don't think it's an Australian owl, is it? They're very different to ours.
Yeah, I don't think it is. But we do have some similar. And Sharon, of course, is commenting on my lipstick Ros. And that's because the one that I was her guest for two of her shows. Yeah. I think it was the second one. Was it this week? Shaz will tell me. I did actually put some makeup on, but it was basic. It was just the foundation and lipstick. And I'm still not keen on lipstick. I'm still not keen on foundation. I just don't like makeup. So, and yeah, Shaz is saying that she had thought to start a watch party. So that's where that's at. And I'll just go through Lynn. Hi, Lynn. Mm. Yes, that I think was referring to your news. So watch out for tomorrow night. You've got to be there.
It's the week for it. Everything's happening this week. It's great. Yeah. I've got my workshop on the weekend with my beginners and been working on finalising all that. Thank you, Shirley.
Yeah.
And then the release of this tomorrow night. So.
And the golly gosh. I love your humour in it. And we've got Shirley here saying, snow owl. Snow owl, right. Yep.
Beautiful.
So I think at the moment I've got to the top of those comments. Right. Good. So I'll keep that scrolled there. Now, a bit of a breather. That takes a little bit of time. But we've got the time because we're here and guess who's in control of the board?
I'm sitting here with my fingers crossed trying to sit still, not touch anything.
So you have absolutely no idea really what I was sort of thinking of probably doing, do you?
No. Well, you said about art, but, I got up this morning with intentions to do these emails out to my students for the weekend and this and that, and the phone kept ringing, and in the end, I'd started ignoring it because I'm going, oh, my God, it's 5 minutes and we're live, and I haven't even done my teeth or my makeup, so no makeup.
Yep.
Teeth are cleaned.
And really, does it matter?
No.
Look at these beautiful faces.
How does it go?
It's something that oops, I've put that in there. I don't actually want that in there now. Well, yes, I will. How do I get two things showing up, or can't I?
You got two things?
I can. Yeah. As far as I've brought up what I'm doing is screen sharing, and I'll just sort of explain it because now, how do I get me as the big one? That's it. Because I've got the new Mac set up, and I've got Ecamm, which is the program that's a broadcasting type of a platform for a Mac, and I can bring in the camera that's connected to that. I'm still trying to find out how to actually do shares of what you're seeing, whichever corner that is. I think
Other
I've
way.
pointed the wrong
On my
way.
side.
Oh, it gets so tricky doing this. So I was wanting to bring in the other camera, the C922, so that I could actually do that in BeLive.tv, because that's the one that we like to use here with the My Time TV. It's not a have to, but I thought, well, this morning I'd try it, because I've been trying for so long to get this set up working that I can bring in another camera. And because we tend to just choose what we're going to talk about as we're getting ready in that 5 minutes just before coming here, basically, I thought, no, this time I'd be a little prepared. And I was chatting with my partner about it. What sort of thing should we actually do as a subject? You know, you pick one. And he just suggested, what about intuitive art? So that's what that is. Oh, which way am I going?
Yep.
So, yeah, there. So I'm just going to drop that out again in a minute, and I'll bring it back up in a minute. And that got me to thinking about various different forms of how do we actually use our intuition. And you know, the therapies, because you look at how many different ways there is that we've already talked about, Leanne, as far as the psychic mediumship goes. You know, your different clairs, and the way, have we spoken about how we access our mediumship? I think we sort of briefly did. For me, which I've already explained on a previous session, that it's just a bit not my field yet to be automatic. I mean, you know, as far as the techniques and all the rest, I mean, that's something that if you feel led that you've got the talent, the skill, the gift, whatever you want to name it, you go and learn more about it from teachers. Hello, like, you know, you're sitting there. I could teach it, you know, various others could as well. It's, you know, you go to the person you lead. And then it got me to thinking about some of the others that are more a body connection or a physical, mental connection, and that's why I thought, wow, that's a good one to come up with, Tony. So setting it up, I thought, well, you know, sit there crossing your hands, gazing into space. How the hell am I going to do this? I know I've got the table there and it's set up, and it's, you know, just the bits and pieces of what you can put together with what you have right now, which is why I put the owl meme up on the top, because you can only work, you can only be who you are, regardless of everything else, in the moment that you are with what you've got, you know. So I thought, well, what's your take on that? Because, and I'm doing this mainly because I forgot the glass of water that goes with the watercolour paint.
So she needs to duck out.
I do, exactly. So you're on the screen as a solo there, Leanne. Can you just, you know, what's your take on working with what you've got in this moment type?
Okay, yeah, it is. We've all got the skills, we've got different strengths and stuff like that. So there's not just the art that you can do. You can do the automatic writing, the drawing, and that sort of side of it. I quite often find myself doing the automatic writing. It's just about surrendering and trusting in what you get. We all get our stuff differently in different ways. We all have different strengths. So it's just a matter of allowing it to be in that moment, to breathe, to ground yourself and clear your mind and go with it. You know, some people might do their knitting, some might do the painting, the drawing, the writing. There's people might build stuff. You never know. It's just allowing your intuition to step in, clearing your mind and having that ability just to allow it to take over, so to speak. That was quick.
Hang on, I'll go back to, which way was it? That way, yeah. if I go back to that format. Yeah, and as I was walking down the passage and going to get the glass to pour the water, I realised I've still got these things in. I better be quiet, otherwise you'd hear me. The drawer opening, the tap going, and
We
lucky
didn't
I
hear it.
go to the loo on the way back. I might have forgotten I had them in. That would not have been good. Look, the technology, the technology and the things that we actually have in our hands, in our, you know, as available to us, if we've got the resources, as in money to buy it and all the rest of it. But it's what is possible is just so exciting. I mean, who would have known that you could do instant messaging, that, you know, people could hold in their hand in a mobile phone and all the rest of it, and even the video calls.
Yeah.
I remember the days back when I was watching Dick Tracy cartoons. Now that is aging me, because you probably don't know what that means.
Vaguely just remember it.
So, I mean, it's just so much has come forward, but we still need to remember, really, that what we have in this moment is what we use, because, you know, I'll go back to that. Whoops, wrong one. Go back to that. The, you know, in the past, we used to have two homes. Well, you know, my ex and I, we'd be running the business here at Meningie, and we had a farm on Kangaroo Island. So you'd want the wrong thing in the wrong, you'd want the thing that was in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know. And so it was always a mishmash in some respects of, you've got to think, what have I got right now? What am I working with? So it just got me thinking when Tony suggested to do this intuitive art. Do you remember Mr. Squiggle?
Oh, yes.
Did you ever see Mr. Squiggle?
I did. I remember
do it upside down.
My kids were watching.
So that's what got me to thinking, oh, that's what I'm going to do. So right at the moment, and I have no idea how this is going to work, but right at the moment, I'll solo this screen, because this is the camera. See, hello. Oh, hang on. Hello. People out there. What I was thinking was sort of along the lines, and you know, sort of doing a bit of a Mr. Squiggly thing. And this I haven't set up because I haven't done this before. I didn't practice or anything, but you can sort of see a few lines there that I've already coloured in. And what I thought I'd do is just go plonky plonk with some water on the bits that I've got coloured in. As you can see, it changes. And it just got me to thinking, I've got this on the wrong side because I'm crossing underneath the camera. And I did these with colour pencils, right? As far as those colours. Can you actually see them there? No, not real clear, are they?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I can see what you've done.
So I'll switch over. I'm actually going to do this. And I have no idea how it'll work. Just wetting a paper, right? You get over and you wet the paper. So I'm going to mess up what I've done, which is fine. This is a bit of a sort of a story thing on now. What do we actually do there? With our life, sometimes it's actually more random as far as what we're actually trying. And can you see? No, you can't see this part, can you? So where I've got the colours there, can you see that? So I'm just going to plonk in and touch that and swivel it. Drop some more paint in. And the one thing that I haven't actually got with this is the hairdryer, because that's going to run everywhere, and we're just dropping colour in wherever it goes and spreading it all over the place and not really knowing, whoops, see how dirty that one's got? Now I'm going to have to just clean that up. And you're seeing just what actually is it that you're seeing in that? Is it a heap of smiles, or is it just like a rainbow? And the thing that
smiles. I was thinking the moon on its side.
And from memory, I think, wasn't Mr. Squiggle turning them around? I'm not that talented, so I wasn't even actually thinking of doing that. And you look at...
You need to do, Ros, is put the paintbrush in your mouth so you look like Mr. Squiggle, because wasn't his on his nose?
Hang on. Oh,
This is going to be interesting.
like that.
Yep.
That's my favourite.
Yeah, we can see the paper and the brush. Now that's talent for you. I love it.
I can't talk at the same time, guys.
I was just thinking he has gone quiet. Oh my goodness.
God,
very
that's harder than
creative.
you think. That's actually harder than you think.
I could gag him with the toothbrush in my mouth. The taste of the hand.
Oh, this is a gorgeous colour. Let's see how that looks.
Oh, purple.
Beautiful.
Oh, look at the smiley face happening with the nose and the eyes.
Maybe I'm painting Mr. Squiggle. What colour's this one?
Bring him back to life, I say.
And it's sort of like, putting the random things that we do in our lives. Look at that. I'm just drawing some hair because my hair's red. Why not consider this almost a self-portrait? Whoops, until it gets to the muddy bit there. Oops. And I do know when you start mixing all the colours of a into a picture, you get mud. So I'm just going to put a bit more of the yellow there. And as you can see, the less extras, the less water, the less that you put in, the more intense it is, especially as you start to have and I'm not an artist, but I wouldn't consider myself an artist, put it that way. See how much more intense that is, purely because it is less water. Is my arm showing in this? I hope not. Maybe arm.
No, not the screen. The camera.
Here we go with, I think this is red. And what I might just say as I'm doing this, here's the lips, Shaz. Lipstick.
Gonna have the lippy.
Is that pretty good for a lips?
It does look good. It kind of looks like a panda bear for me.
I don't know. Well, and that's the thing. When it actually dries, there's going to be even more things that I might be able to do and see in that. And that's the thing. Whoops, I do it the other way. Where's the paint? That's the thing with what you actually, I'm trying to think of it. What do you call it? Metaphor? A comparison to what life can be like.
Exactly.
As far as initially, it was basically just splash the water over it, even though I'd done a little bit of prep. There was something already there because we do come with baggage. We do come with stuff in behind who we are. Yeah. Because we do have that, the upbringing that we don't know is happening as kids, as babies and up into our teenage years. It's just something we live with. We don't think, I can't accept this because it's not my way of thinking, believing or feeling and the rest. We're brought up, we're raised, whether it's good, bad or otherwise techniques, it's still something that happens regardless of what we have as part, how we control part of that as well. You get what I mean? So, there was a bit of stuff that was there already, and then it goes what we add, how we change it, what we can do with it. And I might even do this even as a later thing once that dries, because I'm not sure where my hairdryer is to dry it now. You know how some art shows they have the hairdryer and do it while you're sitting there watching and take bloody ages? Or they edit their shows later. We don't edit.
No, that's it. What you see is what you get. Your lipstick has bled, though.
Oh, thank you. Now, as you can notice, that lipstick's got a bit blurred as it's dried. Can you see that?
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? It takes a different.
Oh, whoops! I'm moving the whole camera. You should see my setup here. I reckon I'm doing pretty good with how I set this up. Whoops!
Yeah.
Except it's all coming off on the table now. Whoops!
No.
What it is actually a clamp on a drawer, so I've got to be very careful. So as you look into that, we can look as close as we want at our life and who we are, but it's still, I can't erase that. It's there permanently now. I mean, there are ways that you can, but it's not going to take out all of the pigment. It's still going to have that smudge, smear, whatever. But later on, when that's dry, as much as at the moment I can see Bozo the Clown, it could grow into something completely different. Because who do you see, Leanne? What do you see in that?
I seen a bear to start with, but then I feel like I've got a long-eared dog face type of thing. The way the paint is starting to dry, it's taking different shapes as the paper's changing. Yeah.
As I'm looking in the background, how we have our background little screen, that's all I can see here. It does look like a bear in the camera, doesn't it? And I can see the dog, and there could even be a wolf in that.
That's it.
As far as that slight difference.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
And see, art can be so healing as well, and they use it a lot with trauma patients and stuff like that through the healing sort of side of it. So to me, artwork is a form of meditation. You focus on that sort of thing. When I used to scrapbook, I used to lose myself in that. Nothing else would matter, sort of thing. It could be kids screaming and I could shut them out. I'd just let them sort themselves out type of thing. But you lose yourself in it. You allow that creative energy to move.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And, going back to look through some of these comments, because of course, I have to have my back to it at the time, but one of the good things is that everyone in the stream there is actually reading the comments as they're going, just that I'm not answering them or you're not at the point, because we don't have that on the screen instantly like you guys do. So the fortune telling, the fortune readings, look, a lot of life takes a bit of practice, even with, if I really did want to be like a Mr. Squiggle and put that brush in my mouth all the time and learn how to do the artwork with my mouth, there are people who live that way because they don't have hands and legs and are beautiful artists.
That's it.
It just takes practice. So that's what I'm doing with the Lenormand deck, because I like them so much. Now I found another one that's in my box that the green owl one, that's, what are they called? They're behind me on the wall. The Sacred Geometry deck. Wow. You might see some of those up. So it's really good. I'm really having fun with it. It's, just the discovery of stuff. So I can have my camera on while watching so others can see my facial expressions.
Yeah, on the watch party.
That's in the watch party. See, I haven't done one. I've got no idea. I know Adair showed us that.
Yeah,
now,
you can be live at the same time.
No, it hasn't gone down. That's come up now as Annette's?
That's Annette's.
All round. Yep.
Oh, you're just so sweet.
So what I'm going to do, because Shaz has asked about the automatic writing, what we might do is that one afterwards, because I want to just go through to see what others. No, I didn't hide just then. This is, Robin, with the classes. Yeah. So just keep your eye out for the registration for classes from anyone. I mean, yours is coming up this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got my in-class one here in Adelaide, but I'll let you in on a secret, Robin. I'm about to release the online version of it very shortly, so keep an eye on my page over the next couple of days. Yeah,
good, and it's all good stuff. Not that I've seen your material, Leanne. I know it would be.
I've actually found myself now.
Need to comment below. And, no, I've got to click that bigger bar. And me squiggling the blackboard upside down, upside down. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you remember him. So that's good. And hi, Yvonne.
Hey, honey.
Now, bet you didn't think your morning was going to be like this. Oh, who does? You work with what you got. That's what's so fun. It really is.
More purpose than just one.
And then at one point it was a girl with one eye. And at another point it was a bear's face cartoon. I'll bring it back up again. Oops, where is it? Just so people can see that again then. And that was that. Yep, that's in the right spot.
Different again now that
just to have a look. Do I might just, will that work solo and still show, it should show the comments, shouldn't it? Yeah, see a bear's face cartoon. It is changing, isn't it? As it's drying.
Yeah. So, it looks like to me, I'm seeing a dog with a collar around its neck, a big brown collar.
Oh, it is now too. Yeah, even more so. Like Jack Russell almost.
It's interesting watching as the paint is drying how things change, and we evolve over time. So it's the same with the paint, the drying.
Yeah, it's intriguing. I'm glad I did this. So yes, losing yourself in what you're doing at the time. I mean, that's what we were doing. And this comment was, caravan and my pendulum reappeared by itself.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and that was at 11:11. My timestamp 11:11.
Yeah. And it's funny because my pendulum I used to keep in my handbag all the time. I bought a new handbag. I cleaned out my handbag to decluttered and changed it over. And there's no way that pendulum was in the handbag when I changed them over. And then months later, I found it in my new handbag after I've been using it for a few months. So,
yeah. Oh, I haven't got us back to that, have I? Whoops. The scribing, slightly different scribing, but we'll have a bit of a finish on that, I think. Excited for it. Oh, yeah, the course. Yeah, that's for the course. And the dog, as it's drying, like you said, it is moving into being more of that dog look. So it'll be interesting to see what later might develop in that. I'll drop it down now. So that's I don't know if I'll do that as a continuation for next week or just another show. I don't know. Now that I'm getting more practiced at these, I just noticed how high I'm sitting up compared to you. How we usually do that, we see that we're even.
I probably slumped down a bit.
Look, I think it is actually even now. Just glanced and thought, oh, I'm a bit too high. I must have been sitting forward. It makes a difference. It does. Now that I've got the eCam and being able to practice and work with that, it's coming up with all these ideas. How much of it's going to end up being in front of people or not? That's just something that we all work with what we ourselves have at this point in time. So for me, it's taken a fair bit of time. I sort of had the dream to get it to this point and a little bit more produced professional looking, but I actually don't care about that. I'm just having fun, and it's the change and the growth with what I've got at the time. Yeah. So, which would be where your progressions happen too, wouldn't it?
It's crazy the way it changes. It does. It evolves all the time. Like even just to have my daughter edit my workshop notes and stuff for this weekend, she's like, "Mum, that's looking really professional. Are you sure you did that?" I'm like, "Thank you, child." I think.
Look, we say,
this is a 19-year-old.
Isn't it? But isn't it similar to growing up again? There's every stage, there's something that we do. You have to start from scratch because you don't know it. You take those learning baby steps and then you start to, this is fun. I can do it. I'm going to, I start to run and then you're off. Yep. And
that's the thing. I reckon I just started typing. I'm like, yep, this is okay. And then all of a sudden I'm going, no. I'm better than this. I can do this. I can do that. I can add this and that. and next minute it's just taken a whole different look, and I'm like, oh, I like that. That looks good. And then she comes along to make that comment. But we keep evolving. We keep changing. We don't necessarily stand still, so to speak. But if we do, it's not for very long. So it's going with the flow. And it's like, I guess for me lately, things have triggered in my brain recently. So I've started looking at things on a little bit different a note, because I'm usually that slap happy dash. It's done, let's move on. I've got other things to focus on. But, and I'm finding myself, as much as for years I've gone, I'm not the teacher, I don't write books, doing this and putting these workshops together at the moment, because I've got multiples that I'm working on that I haven't yet released. I'm feeling really passionate about it. And I guess with Ebony's comment, it's kind of like you're seeing that passion come out in what I'm presenting or will be presenting. So, yeah.
And at some stage we actually do feel like, oh, I'm grown up.
For a moment.
I don't stay there for long. I did have this comment up before. Oops, no, this one, which is why I brought the picture back in. And I thought, well, a blue-headed seal chasing a red ball. Isn't it amazing the different things that different people can actually see in stuff? That's why I brought it back up. And also, whoops, hang on. I've got to hide that and show this one again. So it's a fun thing to do. I guarantee it, Shirley. You get it right on the screen.
I love it. So if anybody wants to do a video of themselves painting and try Mr. Squiggle Star, we'd love to see videos of it.
Yeah, wouldn't it be fantastic?
Let that inner child come out and play. We need to do that more often. We need to giggle. We need to laugh.
Yeah, and it's been great fun. So what it develops into, who knows? You might get a course on that.
That's it. We look forward to that, Ros.
Oh, well, I do. It's one of the things I've thought of for a long time. And also, I suppose, too, it's going back to that. I'm just trying to find where that first question was, not the questions about spirit and the rest, but I can't find it now. It was to do with the automatic writing anyway.
Oh, Sharon's, automatic writing a little bit more.
Yeah. It's with any of this, it's, the things that we have in our minds that we've got as those niggles in creative ideas. And you start exploring it, and then you want to, I'll just see. And for me, I like to just have a glance at what other people are doing, not to do the copy-paste thing. That's plagiarism, that type of thing. But it's, just, I can do something like that. It's developing what for yourself is your own style. I mean, nobody's going to be able to copy me. No possible way. Nobody's going to be able to copy you, no possible way. So it's getting past yourself, over yourself, and just look. And for me, it's just I'm really enjoying doing this. I'm just going to put it out there how I feel like I need to for what I know, and that's working with what you have in this present moment. All this knowledge from 60 years. Oh well, you've got to cut off the first 10 because you can't remember that. Well, I don't, basically, to teach others. It's all of that rolled into who you are right now. So that's why. Now, we will get to this. Automatic writing, what is it for you, Leanne?
Okay, so automatic writing for me, I haven't got any examples near me close by to show you, but for me, it's clearing the mind, and I allow spirit to step in and write through me. So sometimes when I start writing, I will sit with the intention to clear my mind, to do the writing. I might be more aware of starting off the writing, and sometimes it'll start as squiggle, and then spirit will take over and they will write. The messages come through me. Some of my students that have done my workshops would have got a, what do you want to call it? some like a thing that I read out for them that has been channeled and written by spirit. So a guidance, I guess, some direction in that workshop, just some, I don't know what you want to call it, a message from them is probably more the word that I'll go with that side of it. But it's just allowing, I hold the pen, I am the channel, they take over and they write. And it can be really interesting, some of the messages that come through. Now, when I'm automatic writing, it might start off as my style of writing for the first couple of letters or words, even maybe the first line of writing, but you see the changing. It can go to shaky, it could look like a child's writing, it could be beautiful cursive, the lovely old style type writing. It changes all the time, but a lot of the time when I'm doing automatic writing, I myself don't know what I've written. I have to read it back at the end when I've finished. So I do detach myself completely from that writing once it starts flowing. But like I said, you can do that with the artwork. You can do that in your drawings. There's a lady, Ros, you know her dad had the Meningi pub. Christy. Yeah, she does. Check out her Facebook page. She does incredible intuitive drawings, paintings. Sorry, and oh my God, the hours, the weeks, the months that she puts into that. But she also does the automatic writing that has a message that goes with that painting, and her work is incredible. The layers that come through that, and even to see how her work changes from layer to layer, sort of thing, when she's done part pictures of them. Of a piece of work, a masterpiece. I'd call those masterpieces.
Well, there's a lot of work and thought meditation behind what Christy does as well. So it's very, very focused with spirit. Yeah, it's not an overnighter. I've seen some of what Marie Clement does as far as channeled work, you know, with the drawings, and there's many others around that do. And the more I'm doing these fairs, I'm seeing them.
Yeah, you've got Sharon Pittman. She's incredible too with her spirit drawing sort of thing. So, and they will sit there and do it in a reading for you. They read for you while they draw. For me, I normally, sometimes I can write when I'm reading, but it's like I'm getting messages ahead of where I'm at, sort of thing. So it's like I'm talking and I'm thinking two different things, but I'm writing down that part of that as well, just in case I miss it at the same time. What was that? You guys have blue shining through Leanne's window, and I can see the blue up there. Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah, it is beautiful.
I didn't was blind enough. Unfortunately, get morning sun come through there.
Yeah, I can see the tinge of the blue coming through on the wall there myself. It's so interesting because my style of automatic writing would be just a little bit different, of course. And it's one of those things, I wasn't aware I was doing it. I'd just start writing. I can remember the first time really that it became evident to me, and I don't do it often, but we had to write an essay for school, and I thought, I just can't do this. I had a writer's block at the rough old age of 13 or 14 or 15, whatever it was. I thought, oh, bugger, I'll just write what's in the head. So I was writing exactly what came into my head at the time, and if the thought changed, so did what I wrote. And that's the first time I actually did it, where I was pen in hand for that. And then I think it was just gibberish, but it was the letting it go. And that actually answers one of your questions there, Robin, as far as how do you tune in to do it. It really was just deciding, okay, I'm just picking up the pen, I need to write. For me, that's all it was. And it was a similar, and it was a similar thing in reading the books that Tracy Harding wrote, because the first one of hers I read, I just knew it was channeled work. And then further into whichever part of what book she actually states, it's almost a self-declaration of the channeling in the way that she wrote the story itself. It was really interesting. And I thought, oh, so that's what it was. You know, sometimes it takes a while for the penny to drop.
It does. And that's the the thing, we all have really busy minds, and some of us are really overthinkers, very much in our own head. So it's a matter of grounding yourself and being able to practice clearing your mind. So I want to say, start with that side of it first. Learn how to still your mind, just be at peace, be at one sort of thing. The more that you can do that and the more that you practice it, the easier this stuff gets, the more the information will flow. You can't push it. The more you try to push it, it really does take time. Sharon just says, how long do you do it for? Whatever they guide me to do it. Sometimes I could write pages of stuff. And that's the thing with my book that I'm working on that I have been a bit slack on lately. It's kind of like I get downloads. They help me with that information. I remember last time I sat down to work on that in a week, I just had this massive download spread over that week. I've done I think it was 11,000 something words in that week, but I haven't had to touch it. I guess I've been focusing on writing workshops and stuff like that at the moment, but there will come a time. I know there's 2 more chapters to do to that book before it's finished, but there will come a time that they will give me the information. It will come like a download in the next chapter. And so it might finish the whole book, who knows? Yeah.
And that's Heather's just asking, how can someone start off learning to do this? By doing it.
Yeah, practice. Just do it. Practice. Yeah. Learn to still your mind. That's probably the biggest thing. The more we learn to still our mind, the more things flow. So if you can calm your mind down, bring your focus down and connect with Mother Earth and center yourself, ground yourself, you will find that you'll get out of your own head. So I want to say, for those that are interested in doing this side of it, practice on your breath work. Practice on clearing your mind. Maybe we could do a show on that one day, Ros, as well.
Yeah.
On the breathing, raising our vibrations as well, because it makes a big difference.
Yeah, and even with how Robin's described it, she was writing with her eyes closed. That's a start.
Wow.
Like my first effort, I didn't have to clear my mind. I was just writing what my mind had, and then it flowed into whatever it did for as long as it took. And I wrote an essay, and the teacher thought, oh, that was pretty interesting. It was all over the place. But,
I used to get that in my reports all the time. Yeah. Leanne's very creative. Leanne's got a good imagination. I swear now, knowing what I know, looking back at school, I had help in those story writing and stuff sort of thing. So, those B's that I was getting from my story writing, or B's plus, whatever they were, are probably more so not my grades. I was just the channel. So... Yeah.
And as Shaz is asking, Sharon is asking there, can you download on a computer? I touch type fairly fast, and that's how my thoughts go through a lot faster, as far as the thought process will be more refined and focused when I am using a keyboard and doing it that way. And sometimes I'd say, yes, it's a download. Other times I'd just say, well, it's just focusing my mind. I do find when handwriting, that is more when I do the automatic writing. It just seems to flow better. And whether that's because those that I'm connecting with are of that older school, that handwriting was the way to communicate in written word, and they're not quite into the type. But it's just anyways valid if you're getting the words down, even if you're recording, speaking and saying it to, you've got recording devices on your mobile phones, the computer, anywhere these days. Go for it.
It's acknowledgement, yeah.
So, cool. We've got, show would be so good.
All right. That's the thing, guys. If you want to learn more about this stuff, we are happy to do shows like this where we can help with a little bit of the education and the understanding, because it doesn't always have to be about reading. Sometimes we need more than guidance in our life. Sometimes we've got to work that stuff out for ourselves. And I think if we are constantly giving away readings all the time, people become very reliant on that rather than looking within themselves for those answers at times too. So, so I love the idea that we mix it up.
So that was a surprise.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good laugh too.
been fun. Thank you so much, everyone. Oh, and I just realised I didn't turn off the frame. I have now.
Okay, I couldn't see at this end.
No, well, I do on my end, and that's fine. It wasn't taking a great deal. In actual fact, with your curtain, it actually sits really nice in what I'm
Okay.
seeing at the back end. It actually has that nice, Tuesday's intuitive chat. I should change the colour a bit on that because it blends with your curtain colour. But otherwise, you do see it's with Leanne Ros, with my little owl that I made at the workshop.
I keep thinking I'm going to drag my screen in, but I haven't. I always think of it the last minute.
I think we're working with what we have at the time
Yeah.
and what time we have to work with it.
I would love to change the green curtains. I don't know who ever put green curtains in this house.
Well, yeah, sometimes you have to, work around some things. Yeah. So it's all good. I mean, we are up to the hour now. So for those who were expecting readings or cards, I'm not going to apologise because, as my description says, it might. And this morning even I took out the reference to tarot cards because I knew in my little heart that it wasn't going to happen. I'll go back to the comments and draw cards for those who asked questions and wanted some answers there, because that's what I like to do as my gift to those who show up and share it round. It's lovely to have the news, anything shared, because I do feel that what we've shared today has been valuable. It has for me because I've had fun. Has for you too, Leanne.
And we laugh. It's great.
Oh, it's the best medicine. It's really good.
Is. So, it kickstarts the day. It's great. Life's too serious.
Oh, definitely. And thank you to everybody that did come in on the live, to those who are going to watch the replays. Do share it out. Share our links to our Facebook pages. Join in. Whatever you feel led to doing. And blessings to everybody. Namaste. And we'll see you next week.
Bye all.